She had become self-aware. What seemed like a lifetime ago, she had been 6 years old when he frequented the town. He had been the love of her life, and she doted on his every move, every sound, and cried any time he stood up to leave. At that age, she could make just one meal, hot water noodles with sauce. She'd make it every time he came around and had time to spare. And luckily for him, she prepared it very well. Her mother ran a tuck shop housed by the only building that had been erected at the time. It was owned by the quantity surveyor of the housing project, and he wasted no time putting up his house in anticipation of economic activities. The land, which was a corner piece on the other side of the road opposite the layout, was given to him free as part of his payment for his services. Theirs was the first building you came across coming off the main road. Conspicuously located, it stood at the intersection with another road that linked the hospital and other towns far off. This made the tuck shop the one stop for travelers and netizens alike. Notwithstanding the so many people coming and going, the little girl always remembered her uncle friend. She would then sit at his feet with her little plastic blue bowl while her mother watched admiringly from the store as they would talk. She called him uncle, and they talked about butterflies, rocks, lizards, homework, and everything that she could connect in a sentence while they both ate. One arm under her bowl with his index finger and thumb to hold the cutlery firmly over the noodles. Her other arm floated delicately with his pinky finger always standing apart as she waved to weave her sentences together and weld stories together with her third most favorite person in the world. Back then, she waited for him on the store steps when she hadn't seen him for weeks. Coming back today, he half imagined her waiting on the stairs, all grown up. He chuckled at the thought. He probably won't see her today anyway. She'll be away at school, senior secondary three to be exact, counting the years. She'll be quite the woman. He actually had to be at their house and pass through to where his parcel of land was located. Her father, a very good man, good and trustworthy, had all his land papers held in trust all these years. When he had called to ask of them, the surveyor had responded as if his long lost son was returning home, prodigal and most welcome. He didn't ask of the girl, his little friend. He didn't expect her to be there anyway. As it was to be expected, the surveyor had promised to stay home all day. So trekking down from the major intersection where the buses plied off to other towns was in order to save some money and seemed the wisest choice. He came up on the house from the side of the road, and on getting to the store, he tapped gently on the iron burglar-proof, see-through gate railing that kept thieving house from the wares but allowed customers a good view of everything on display. Just as it had been all those years, a bottle opener tied on a rope hung loosely and dually served as a cap opener and the doorbell to call for attention when no one sat readily in the store. He tapped again, and his dearest friend emerged, 16, gorgeous, and filled out in all the places a young woman would want to be. She wore a slip of a skirt, with her long legs running for miles and miles. She sashayed towards him, very unlike his own daughter, who turned out with knobs for legs. Luckily, she, his daughter, only 8, had inherited his hawk-like facial features, or it would have been a rough stretch of road before her. A cloth wrapper draped loosely over her shoulders and her forearm to cover herself up. It hung loosely, so if need be, it could be taken off quickly, as the heat didn't permit for much to be put on. She looked at him as he paired and paired and was convinced that the wrapper was exactly where it needed to be. She had large, round, beautiful eyes and shiny skin, and he instantly saw all the young men in the area hurrying around to buy things they really didn't need just to see her, and he smiled to himself. She frowned condescendingly. With all her newfound beauty, she acquired haughtiness and distinct pride. She was not the same sweet 6 year old who wanted to know him so much and eagerly wanted to please customers, particularly him. Back then, coming to the store would mean him being welcomed warmly. The iron burglar proof gate would be flung back, and she would run off to prepare a bowl of noodles for him, hoping her parents would engage him long enough for the meal to be ready. The surveyor and his wife would probably be somewhere nearby and would emerge on hearing his voice and ask about all he had gotten into in the last few days. Yes, she asked rudely, what would you like to buy? Him out of his trance. Her voice was sweet, like little champagne glasses clinking, and it belied her nasty attitude. There and then, he decided he didn't want to be her uncle anymore. Being weary from the trip and cautious not to free her any further, he asked to buy a soft drink. Asking for her father immediately might have produced a reaction more offensive than the last. After he paid and had taken his first swig, he asked her for her father. He's upstairs in his room. Who should I say would like to see him? She asked haughtily, her tone telling that she didn't believe one bit that he was here for her father. Again, clinking glasses, curdled in an offensive tone. He blamed it on all the attention she had been getting from all the men that he was sure came around. I have an appointment with him today, so I'm sure he'll be expecting me, he said with as much irritation as he could manage out of his voice. With that, she softened a little, just a little. Okay, in that case, finish up your drink so I can go get him. Saying it like that made him feel as if he was being watched closely. He must look much worse for wear than he thought, and her attitude towards him only feel even more terrible. She turned away from him and began to put a couple of chairs together, ultimately deciding that the meeting was going to be held in the store and not in the house. As she moved things around, her eyes caught her little blue bowl. Sitting there on the top shelf after all these years, it had taken a little beating and was a little bent, but was still there, a surviving cradle of innocence. Nostalgia, fondness, and love warmed through him as the smell of good food from the kitchen wafted up his nostrils. Noodles and sauce, no less. That smells really good. He let escape from his lips before he could stop himself. His emotion had betrayed him. He felt good coming back to something familiar that reminded him of a good time in his life. Dumbstruck, panicky, and a little ashamed of being frightened of a little girl, he stared at her apprehensively, waiting for a reaction, readying an apology to be put forward. He was beaten, tired, and battle weary. She turned around to look at him, her beautiful eyes wide and teary as recognition gradually crept back into them. She had become a little girl again, back to innocence lost. The end.